Part 1 of this series, we'll talk about the guts of the house, like electrical, plumbing, and framing, and how we took this 1970s home and made it into a pretty badass house with modern features.
Hey everyone, welcome to our home. So we wanted to show you a little bit about what we did here. So this was the flip that became our home. We originally purchased this to resell, but we fell in love with it. We did a lot of things in here structurally in this part of the house, so I'd like to show you now. So one of the big things we did here was open up the kitchen. So if you can envision it here, this was a wall with an opening here that went into the living room. And then this is the wall here with a small opening that went into the dining. And we wanted to have an open concept. So we had to add 4 14-inch LVL beams in here, which are covered up. And then in here is an 8x8 column to hold the whole structure up. So there's a lot of weight on this column here, but it helped us open the whole house up. We also had to run 2 12-inch LVLs along this truss here to support this. So, you know, this really opened up the whole space. So one thing we had to do in this house was try to get some continuity in the beams. So we had LVLs here, which are just raw grain. We had the original beams underneath here and up in the ceiling here. And so what I end up doing is I end up buying sheets of poplar and ripping them and making this work out. So it was a painstaking process. I think that took me 4 days, 4 solid days of ripping and installing, but I think it really turned out really nicely. Another interesting thing was this whole living room here that you see was about 6 inches lower than the rest of the house. This was a style back in the 70s, but not something we wanted. It's a trip hazard. So we were able to basically run stringers in this whole thing to lift it up and make it level with the rest of the house. So the fireplace you see here used to be stucco that matched the outside of the house. It was not to the style of the home, so we needed to change it up. So we're able to basically go over the top of this with some nice newer tile. And we lifted up the floor. There was actually a hearth here that kind of wrapped around. It's about a 6-inch hearth, but when we brought the floor up, it kind of made it perfectly level. Vivian's signature thing she likes to do in home is an accent wall. And she likes to add a little depth, a little texture to it. Kind of gives it a nice modern look. When you've got a big wall like this, really gives it a nice view. And if you notice, she incorporates her V into it as well. So you'll see in a lot of our homes that we flip, that people now own, have her signature V.
So let's talk about the design. When we were designing this place, when I was designing this place, I really wanted something very minimal and warm without being cold at all. So paint color. On our walls, our favorite color right now is Sherwin-Williams Incredible White. As James mentioned earlier, these beautiful beams are the supporting structure of this home. But what that meant was we had this awkward space we had to fill. So I added a wine cabinet. And it used to be full, but we drink a lot of wine. So it's kind of empty right now. But there's room for, I think, 27 bottles, if I remember correctly. I get a lot of compliments on the light fixtures here. Believe it or not, this beautiful thing right here is from Amazon.
So one thing you'll notice, we have a huge amount of space between the sink and the stove and the island here. And the first time we did this was a house we flipped over in 2007, and we pushed the island out. And at first we're like, is it too far away? And it turned out everybody loved it. They love the amount of space here, so you're not cramped in. And our whole concept with this entire space was to make it open and inviting and great for entertaining. So when we're in the kitchen, we have guests over, we have friends over, everybody's kind of walking around and eating. Nobody's ever bumping into each other. So having a lot of space between your island and the other side of the kitchen is actually great. We love it. We love how it turns out. Everybody is absolutely thrilled with all the room we have in this place. One of the things with this house is we love all the windows. It's open, there's a lot of light, but we found out from our inspector that a lot of these windows, including these 3 and some by the front door were not tempered. And he said, I don't have to make you change these windows out, but if you have small children, I highly suggest you do, because if it's not tempered glass, whenever it breaks, you get large shards.
This episode is sponsored by our favorite plumbing company, 360 Plumbing and Gas, where quality and service matter. Brandon is a master plumber at 360 Plumbing and Gas, and he's been with us since day one. Let's talk about one of my favorite appliances in this house, and that is our stove. This is a 36-inch induction stove by Fisher & Paykel, and it is just the best addition to our home. Believe it or not, we didn't have any gas coming into our neighborhood, so we had no choice but to choose something that was electrical. And this induction stove has basically changed our lives and the way we cook. Not to mention, this one also has a convection oven, and it has a pizza function that cooks pizza at over 500 degrees. Therefore, you get that really nice restaurant quality pizza. And there you have it. You can't buy time, but you can buy an induction stove. There are so many things that I love about the design of this house. Like the floors, for instance. I just love how wood floors feel on my feet. These European white oak floors are made by Green World Industries, which is a Texas-based company. The floors we used here is from their European collection, and the color is Paris. Pro tip, buy floors that match your dog's fur, because it matches the color of our golden retriever and we can't see the shedding at all. So it always looks clean. If you love these floors too, you can pick them up at Cabinet IQ. They're the smart choice for cabinets and countertops. We love to cook, so we needed a lot of storage space for our kitchen, tools, and other knickknacks. We installed 2 big pantry towers. One of the towers actually doubles as a pantry and coffee bar. Because our kitchen is so large, we were able to add cabinets on both sides of the island. When I design kitchens, I love them to be functional, just like the right side of the stove. I have a spot for all my spices, and below it, pull-out drawers for other taller ingredients. We also really love this microwave drawer that is embedded in our island, which makes it really easy for our kids to warm up their food and make popcorn, and it also keeps the clutter off the countertops. Our cabinets are from CK&R, a local custom cabinet company out of Round Rock, Texas. While I wanted a perfect transaction with CK&R, it wasn't totally perfect. What I love is that they match the walnut horizontal grains across the cabinetry, but they somehow lost one of our cabinets on the day of our installation, so now we have a mismatch. It's not a deal breaker, but it's definitely a little disappointing. We did have custom painted cabinets in both the powder room and the second bath, and we love the color. This color is by Behr, and it's called Midnight in the Tropics. It's a bit of blue with gray and green. If I could redo this bathroom all over again, I would definitely have installed a niche lower, because my kids use this bathroom and they need a lower space so they can easily access and put away the shampoo, conditioner, and body wash. Because of their short stature, the bottles all end up on the side of the tub. For the tile, because I wanted the cabinet color to be the star of the space, I chose only one color for the tile, and we stacked it linearly from wall to floor for a muted and stylish look. Now, I know there are a ton of designers and flippers that are installing tile with lots of patterns. For us, we believe that hard installed items should be timeless, and we don't think the pattern tiles will stand the test of time. However, I did love this one tile that I picked up for in decor, so we added a little fun flair to the laundry room and powder room. Finally, let's talk about the countertops. We wanted to showcase the beautiful custom wood cabinetry throughout the home, so we picked a polar white 3cm countertop. By the way, this part of the show is sponsored by Rhino Granite Works. On one side, we opted for a waterfall, while on the opposite end, we added another set of drawers so that we could have more storage and an outlet to plug into. We didn't want to spend a lot of money on our laundry room cabinets, so we picked up in-stock cabinets from Cabinet IQ right here in Cedar Park. They're the smart choice for cabinets and countertops. Keeping with the mid-century modern theme, I really wanted to have a nice, clean, white subway tile, but I didn't want to go just plain. So I found this really cool tile on Wayfair, If you see, it's got this really cool texture on them, and you just have to install them randomly, and they have this gorgeous pattern to them and texture. Over here, we have our giant shower, which used to be a universal access tub. And these tiles were really affordable. I really like the geometric shape to them. They were about $2 a square foot, and same thing with the floor tile, also about $2 a square foot. For our shower trim and valve, we always use brand names. I'm never comfortable ordering, fancy looking stuff off Amazon or going off brand. So here we have a Delta universal valve plus shower trim. That is a thermostatic valve, which means that every time you turn it on, it's the same temperature. I love that. Right here is the fireplace that's located in our primary master bedroom. And as you can see, we also refinished it with tile, just like we did in the living room.
So one of my favorite things in the home is our refrigerator. It's nothing super fancy. It's not a super high-end Sub-Zero, but I did spend a little extra money on this because I do like a really good cocktail. And when you go to the bar, they've always got those either nice ice balls or nice square piece of ice. I was looking online one day and I saw that LG has a fridge that makes craft ice balls. I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. I've got to get one of these. So I went ahead and spent a little extra money to get the LG that actually makes craft ice. And you can see they're actually nice and clear as well. Super nice feature. It's not a real expensive fridge. It's certainly worth the money.
Was it heartbreaking when your son rollerbladed into the fridge?
That was my daughter.
Oh, your daughter rollerbladed into the fridge. Oops.
Hey everyone, this is James from Austin House Flippers. Thanks for watching this episode. If you like what you see and want to see more content, click the link below and please subscribe.